Today is the 9th of July.
9th of July, yeah.
And I have John here, who's come from the south coast. He's been one of our customers or students for quite a while.
Many years.
And he's done some very interesting bonsai. He very kindly brought this beautiful Satsuki azalea to show me because there's a story behind this beautiful tree. Look at that beautiful trunk. Massive trunk of about 5 or 6 inches diameter. And it's gnarled and old, and he's done a shari and painted it white. Not often you get Satsuki azalea with a trunk like this and shari, so this is unique. So he's used his initiative, broke the rules, and ended up with such a beautiful tree. I can't remember the exact name of it. It's pure white, but a few flowers that have a pink stripe in it. So this is the tree all round. And the purpose of showing you this tree is not so much just to show you the flowers, but because John has a very interesting story about it. And like me, he always rummages around, and this tree was got for free, will you believe it? I don't know how many years ago. Can you say something about the history, John?
Yeah, 15 years ago, 15 years ago. The company that I was working for was taken over, and sadly they didn't particularly have a passion.
It was a bonsai nursery that
went bankrupt. It was a bonsai nursery, yeah, that's right, yeah. And unfortunately the watering side of things was absent and ended up in a skip.
And it was thrown away?
And it was totally thrown away. It was about 5 feet high.
Oh.
With this was actually a branch coming out with a pad, and it was brown and very forlorn, and it was in the skip. And I drove past one day to see if there was anything in the skip, and there was a tiny little sprout of green growth, and I thought, right, that's it. I took it, and I said, can I take it? They said, yeah. I took it because initially what I was going to do was use it as a wraparound figure for possibly juniper, yeah, dead trunk. And over the last 15 years, I've hoped and prayed that it would live. I've pretty much left the branch structure as it is because out of fear, they're very, very brittle. But the main thing is that I wanted it to live.
After 15 years from the skip.
And after 15 years from a skip, it's turned out to be something quite fantastic.
So this is the sort of story I like to hear as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just to show our YouTube fans what bonsai is all about, and he's very enthusiastic, typical bonsai enthusiast. Now there's another tree you brought for me, and I'm going to give John a free lesson today.
Well, initially...
San Jose Juniper.
San Jose Juniper, initially a plant that I bought from Peter about 8 or 9 years ago now. Went mad, took loads of cuttings, all of them took. I tend to have a green fingers, and luckily some of them turned out to be very good raw material.
And 8 years from a cutting?
Yeah, 8
My
years.
My goodness,
yeah.
Look at it.
7 years.
7 years from cutting?
Yeah.
I couldn't grow it like that in 7 years.
My lovely lady bought me the juniper from here, so I remember distinctly that it was on my 50th birthday, and I gave it a year in a new pot to let it settle, and then after that year I took many cuttings that all of them took. Unfortunately ran out of space.
Okay.
Because it just goes to your head.
Right, so we'll analyze this tree and see what we can make of it. And we'll turn it into John's tree, this San Jose Juniper. The trunk is about 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter, and it's got this lovely lean to it. So we could either make it like a semi-cascade tree, or prop it up and make it like an informal upright tree. But because San Jose Junipers have this lovely habit, I think we will go for the semi-cascade because it's a more natural style for this tree. So let's see what we can do. So the first process is always to show the trunk. Once you begin to show the trunk, it then begins to look like a tree, and then we need to separate the branches so that it doesn't look like a bush. So we can find the first branch here, maybe second branch there, and so on. We always work from the bottom to the top. So that is the bottom part and this is the top part, and we'll progressively go through that. Many of you will also know that I do not draw a plan or a sketch of what I envisage the tree to be, because I find that very restrictive. If you draw a plan and then the tree will not lend itself to going that way, then you will get unstuck and you'll be forcing the tree to make the shape that may not be natural and flowing for the tree. So I just let the design evolve as it goes along. So let's see what we can get out of this tree, and then we will proceed from there. Now I haven't decided on the front or the back, so let's turn the tree around to see if there is one side which is better than the other. See, looking at this tree, if we wanted to make an informal upright tree, we could make this the leader and then have just a small tree called a bag trick. So if we block out that bit, so we will have a tree like this with a nice taper and going this way. This may be a nice option. So this is possible. And then if we wanted to make the semi-cascade, it will go down, but I'm not sure if the semi-cascade, in the long term it may be okay. The only problem is that if I made a semi-cascade, that very thick branch is hard to bend. So the semi-cascade may not be the best option. This is where, if you have something fixed in your mind that you want to force it into a semi-cascade, it doesn't always work. But then I could use this as well as the cascading part and do a bit of gin here. So there are still options. So all is not lost. So I have to ask John what he prefers. He's taking the picture. What would you like to do? If I did this, make a semi-cascade with this coming down this way, with this thin branch, because this is easier to bend than a thick one, have a little head, so we'll have like a semi-cascade tree. Or we do the other one, which was
short and stumpy.
Short and stumpy tree.
I'd like to go, for the short and stumpy.
Okay,
Yeah,
right, there you are.
Definitely.
So if you want to do short and stumpy, then we will do short and stumpy. That will also be very nice. So let's go for that. So decision made. And I think short and stumpy will still need to raise it at that angle. So I will just prop it up. I use very crude tools. I don't use all these sophisticated hooks and all. So that's the block I'm going to use to position the tree, to give me some idea as to what angle this tree is going to be at. So that is the short and stumpy one. So if we're wanting short and stumpy, so we're going to get rid of that bit at the back. And we will probably make a gin out of that back portion. So this is the leader, and this is going to be taken off. So I will cut there, make a slanting cut. I'm going to break it to make a gin. So, let's see how strong I am. The trouble is I'm trying to perform for the camera. It's not the natural angle I work from. There you go. That's how we break it. So there's going to be quite a lot of gin material there. Lots of cuttings for making more San Jose junipers. So just cutting that off, you can more or less see straight away how that informal upright shape will fan out. So as I say, not rocket science, quite simple. So if you look closely, there is quite a selection of branches. A lot of branches are this thickness, and then there are some thick branches. And I've always said, this is a very basic principle. If you use thinner branches, they're not only easier to bend, but it forms a better contrast for the trunk and makes the trunk look thicker. So don't be tempted to use the thick branches, because many people say, oh yes, the thick branches gives me a more instant look, but not always the case. The thin branches sometimes turn out to be better. So this is where we have to choose what we're going to do. Right, what I will do now is let me remove the thick branches and make gins from them. So just a small partial cut and then break it. The other thick one is this one. Don't be tempted to make very long gins, because long gins don't always work well. This is a bit long, but I may make it shorter. So choosing the branches is really a matter of making sure that there is space between alternate layers of branches. So I didn't choose this one because this is going this way rather awkward, and to make it go that way would not seem right. So going this way would cloud too much. So let's use the thinner branch. Let's just go over the sun. Performing for the camera is like trying to do flower arranging from the back. I don't know how these flower arrangers manage to do it from the back. It's quite a skilled art. But working from the front is more convenient. Okay, now this one is sticking right in my face. So if it's sticking in my face, let's get rid of it. Okay. Snap it off. That becomes a gin. So for those of you who are new to the game, driftwood, once you've broken it, you just use the gin pliers, crush the bark, and hey presto, you remove it, then you get instant gin. You can refine it, you can carve it. It's all very basic stuff. There you are. So we got two branches there straight away. So I'm just letting the design evolve, as it were. So now I've got to choose the next pair of branches. So do I use this branch or this branch? In fact, I can use probably both those branches. So I will use this and this, this and this, because this is slightly thicker. So I need more wire. So I'm not a great stickler of insisting on what is the right and what is the wrong way. There are no right and wrong ways, as long as it works. I'm very fond of Deng Xiaoping's famous saying, it doesn't matter if the cat is white or the cat is black, as long as it catches mice, it does the job.
Absolutely.
It's Chinese wisdom. So don't always be obsessed that there's always a right and a wrong way. There's no right and wrong way. There are different ways of doing something. Now this is another thick branch. Always very tempting to use that thick branch, but we won't use it. It's too thick. So let's get rid of that. So if there's anything worth passing on to you is that don't always be tempted, as I say, don't be too greedy to use the thick branches. Use the thinner branches, they will be more in proportion with the design, and just use the thick ones for making gins. So this one we can just wire like this, so lots of branches. Don't make it too sparse, so we need a few branches. You must be wondering, you know, why did we take all the trouble to grow all that and then cut it off? But you shouldn't look at it that way, because while a plant is growing vigorously, it produces strength in the tree, helps the tree to grow, and makes the whole tree grow thicker and faster. So what John has done, let the tree grow unchecked, has helped to produce a very strong tree. So that has its uses as well. So nothing is ever wasted. Nothing is ever wasted. As I say, no experience of life is ever wasted. There's the gins to do. And of course you need to keep these pads in order, but it's only like 20-minute work so far. And we've got to this stage, but we won't repot it at this angle. We can grow it propped up at this angle, but maybe next year you can repot it at this angle and see where it goes from there. And meanwhile the tree will continue to thicken, and there in a short space of time we've created what is potentially a nice future bonsai. And if you didn't like the gins at the back, you can get rid of it, but just play with the gins and practice on it if you wish. And there you go. Now I have a very happy John. There you are.
Very happy.
One of our YouTube fans.
Therapy.
There you go.
Therapy.
Thank you.